How to make your tracks in Logic or any other DAW, how to make your tracks sound wide in the mix. So you really want that wide stereo image. You don't want everything running down the middle. I'm Charles Klein, singer-songwriter and indie musician. So if you're an indie musician producing music or trying to market your music, then please feel free to subscribe to this channel because this channel is for you. There's a lot of different plugins and effects we can use to make our tracks really sound wide, and I'll be going through just some of the ones I use in Logic, so you can recreate this or use something similar to also make your tracks sound wide in your DAW of choice. Making our tracks wide means we really want to use our stereo image, so we don't just want all the sound running in the middle of our speakers. So just sit between your two speakers and just listen to one track, have your pan option set right to the middle, and you'll hear it coming in the middle. As soon as you start panning all the way to the left or the right, you'll notice it starts to pan to the left or pan to the right. So that's the easiest way to actually make our track sound wide, is using the panning options of all the different tracks within our session. If we just had every single track running up the middle, then it's just going to really sound mono. It's going to really just sound up the middle. We want to use our stereo image. So the best way to do that in our songs are to use the pan knobs. Pan certain instruments off to the left and right. There are fundamentals of panning that you should look up, and I won't be getting too deep into those, but for example, your drums, your bass, you rarely want those panned. Maybe certain instruments in the drum set, but your kick, your snare, your bass, you really want that centered because they're really important pieces, as well as your lead vocal. You want that nice and centered. Harmonies, sometimes some rhythm guitar, keys, different aspects that maybe are just adding flavor to the song, you can really use panning to your advantage to make your song sound wide. So that's the quickest and easy way to get started, is using panning. The second way is actually using plugins and effects. So let's get into that right now. So let's use this keys as an example, and let's just take a listen to what it is right now at the middle. So already inside this keys instrument, it's this stock E piano. We have a phaser, a tremolo, and a chorus. So these effects within the instrument will help us kind of have a bouncing effect between our stereo image. So we can use the effects already within the instrument to dial into how wide we want that to sound. For example, we can increase the intensity on the tremolo, we can increase the intensity on the chorus, which will add depth to the keys, and we can increase, or we can turn on the phaser or increase the intensity of the phaser. All of these little effects, phaser, chorus, and tremolo, will help create an image that's more wide within your track for these keys specifically. So maybe you're using an instrument like the keys or something similar. If not, still look for like chorus effect, tremolo, and phaser within your instrument, because sometimes you can tweak those to get a different image of what this sounds like. And again, sit in front of in the middle of your two speakers, really focus on the middle, and then see what you're hearing left and right, and see if tweaking these dials does anything to the sound. Besides looking at the effects right within the instrument, we're going to look at adding new effects. One I like to add is by Sound Toys. It's called Microshift. I go so far to actually having the Sound Toys Microshift and a chorus plugin on a bus that I can just send any track I want to make more wide. For example, if I wanted just to make this keys more wide right off the bat, I can go to my bus, and I have a bus called wide or width, and you can see there's an EQ, but there's a chorus effect and a Sound Toys Microshift. This is actually just a width plugin by Sound Toys, so you can throw that in on anything and increase the wetness, and you'll notice it will immediately start phasing your track and be putting it to the left and right and not everything up in the middle. So a super easy way to add width is just using this plugin. The chorus effect as well, this is just a stock chorus effect within Logic that you can get, or any other DAW probably has a stocked chorus effect. Just increase the rate and intensity, 100% mix, if you're using a bus output especially, and then you'll notice width has been added already. So let's get this in action. Let's increase the bus signal to these keys while in listening. So it sounds already really much more wide than it is. And I've just realized, because I'm actually picking out the signal that I'm outputting here into mono, that you won't be able to hear the width probably on your end, but you just have to trust me. You can do the same thing putting it on a bus output like me, or you can actually just put it on the channel, like go to modulation, add the chorus effect, and then you would increase the mix knob here if it's right on the channel plugin, and just right on the chain. And then go in and add any type of your phaser plugins here. So I have the Soundtoys plugins, really great plugins by Soundtoys. So besides the chorus and microshift, either putting it right on the chain or using it as a bus send, you can use another free plugin by iZotope. This is called the iZotope Ozone Imager. This is a free plugin and it just adds width to your track. So you can there's a width knob here and then a stereoize knob here. So the higher you go in the width, you can see actually the signal expanding. And so I'll show you this in action. So this is super wide. Let's do it on the keys. I'm just going to turn chorus and microshift off right now. So you can see the signal coming in here. And if it was just down to 0, you can see it's probably be right in the middle here. So that's where the signal is happening when you don't have width. Add width, add some dramatic stereoization here. And you can see the signal is popping more wide. And so use these tasteful knobs, use these knobs to a tasteful amount. You don't want to go too wide. You don't want to get carried away with this but using it, touches of it here and there to add width. You can also add width on your master output if you'd like, while you're doing some mastering. If you want to go to the master chain and add like a Ozone Imager, you have to be careful there when you're adding width to the master track because you're doing it on everything. So it will have a dramatic effect on your sound, but you can do it on the master track as well. If you're an indie musician learning about music production or trying to get better at music production, consider subscribing to this channel. I'm an indie musician myself, and I'm producing my own music and releasing my own music. So please feel free to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.